With just days left in California's November 2024 election, one of the hottest issues, one of the biggest problems we have in California is barely being mentioned by either political party. I'm talking about the border crisis. Coming up, I'll tell you why politicians on both sides of the aisle are keeping the border crisis a dirty little secret and what we need to do to fight back to get this issue addressed. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California, and nationally you see all sorts of discussion of the border crisis. President Trump obviously is making border security a signature highlight of his race for the White House. And in individual races around the country, we have governors, mayors, congressional candidates, state legislative candidates, all pointing out that illegal immigration has an impact in their area. And they are laying out plans for what they're going to be doing to respond. But here in California, where perhaps we have the biggest impact on residents and taxpayers and communities from an open border, we don't hear almost any mention of border security by Democrats or even Republicans. Doesn't that sound a little strange? You should be alarmed by the fact that one of the hottest issues, the most important issues, neither political party seems to want to talk about it at all. That is because the dirty little secret is that Democrats obviously want an open border. They know that if this becomes an issue, that they could actually lose seats in California because we have a consensus now in the state. Even Democrats and independents agree that the border is in crisis. Latinos agree that the border is in crisis. So Democrats are not mentioning it. They don't want to talk about immigration because it's a big losing issue for them. Fortunately for California Democrats, California Republicans are completely inept. And that's being kind. There's rare exception, but the Republican Party of California has sold its soul to the devil. They have sold you out. They don't want to talk about the issues that you care about. They just want to become vanilla milkshakes, go along to get along, fade into the word work, run like they're Democrat lights. Again, this has been their failing playbook for 25 years. The consultants who run the Republican Party of California and run the candidate campaigns in all the target races, they are telling their candidates, don't talk about illegal immigration. It's a losing issue. BS. It's one of the most important issues of our time. It should be one of the signature emphasis points in every campaign across the state. And I'm not just talking about for federal races. I'm talking about particularly state races and even local races. There's a couple reasons why Republicans want to stay away from the border issue. Number one, they're stupid. The consultants that run the show are just felony negligent when it comes to giving political advice. They all need to be put on a boat and shipped away. Second, the big business and corporations of the state, they like an open border. Democrats like an open border because they like to get the votes. Republican business groups like an open border because they get the money, honey. This is a profit for them. They get cheap labor. That's why these establishment Republicans hate Donald Trump, because he's going to secure the border. And that means it's harder for them to hire cheap labor. It all comes back to money. And so in California, unless we get the grassroots demanding that border security is an issue to be addressed, at least by starting out by Republicans, this issue is going to continue to fester and get worse. In my race for state legislature down here in San Diego, I've made border security one of my top issues. In fact, the ad that I've been running for the past month is all about the border. Let me share it with you.
There is a crisis at our border, but California's liberal politicians are making it worse by offering billions in handouts to illegal immigrants to draw them here. Carl DeMaio will fight Sacramento to repeal the sanctuary state law and end welfare payments to illegal immigrants. And Carl DeMaio is leading the fight to enact a voter ID law to verify citizenship. Supported by Border Patrol agents and law enforcement, vote for Carl DeMaio, a proven fighter and true conservative for state assembly.
All right. Now, by the way, that's not just running on conservative channels. That's broadcast. because again, border security is not a partisan issue. It is a bipartisan issue. And Latinos are not turned off by it. Latino voters want to see a secure border. We're having amazing response to our emphasis on our border security efforts. In fact, I've got my border security initiative, and this would fix California's open border policies and put California in the same boat as Texas when it comes to helping the federal government, helping Border Patrol secure the border. My California Secure Borders Initiative has 3 components. Number 1, we would repeal the sanctuary state law. We are not going to shield illegal immigrant criminals anymore in the state of California. When they commit a crime, we punish them and then we deport them when their sentence is done. Second, we will stop the flow of taxpayer-funded handouts at your expense to illegal immigrants, offering them free health care, free housing, free welfare, free plane tickets, all this stuff. It only is an incentive for them to come across the border illegally. It's helping the human traffickers. Like we're inducing more illegal immigration by giving this incentive of taxpayer money, free handouts for illegal immigrants. So we've got to cut off that flow of taxpayer funded benefits so that people don't have that dangling carrot across the border that they're looking for. And third, we would require that we deploy the state guard to the border whenever crossings, illegal crossings, reach a certain threshold. This would help the Border Patrol agents do their job, because you would have our National Guard, state guard, there to be logistical support. There's also a very long track record of cross-deputizing state and local law enforcement to work with Border Patrol. Bill Clinton did this during his presidency. Yeah, a Democrat president did this in the 90s, and I think we need to go back to doing it. I think it's certainly something President Trump would be absolutely supportive of. We need to have state voices in California fighting on the border issue. Right now, we don't have a lot of Republicans doing that. I plan to be one of the first, and I think others will join me. And we will then have a chorus demanding border security. Another reason why we don't have border security as a top of mind issue, a focal point, is that you're being lied to by the media, and your government is lying to you because they're trying to cover up the true extent of the problem of illegal immigration and the impact it has on our communities. In California, they passed a law in 2016 prohibiting any court officials from releasing the immigration status of criminals in their custody. The reason why they did that is they don't want you to know how many crimes illegal immigrants are actually committing in our communities, because that is a price tag. That is a real negative impact on communities. Texas, though, is freely sharing the information for any media outlet that requests it. Here's this latest story from Fox News. 1 in 10 inmates in Texas Harris County Jail wanted by ICE, records show. More than 4 in 10 cases involving ICE holds are linked to violent crimes. So you've got 10% of the jail population, at the very least, known to be illegal immigrants and wanted by ICE. What do you think it is in California? Yeah, at least that, or not more. You also have an impact to your healthcare system. Governor Greg Abbott in the summer signed an executive order that goes into effect this fall, requiring hospitals to report data on how many people they see in the emergency room for free, because these people don't have insurance, that are illegal immigrants. And the reason why we need this data is that it will show you the cost to your healthcare bill that you're paying, because when a hospital has someone come to the emergency room, we are generous as a society. We don't turn anyone away. It's a Good Samaritan rule. But that person doesn't pay because they don't have insurance, and they certainly don't give out cash. As a result, the way hospitals recoup their costs is they take the cost of all patients and then they divide it across the board. So that's why you are seeing an aspirin, instead of costing 15 cents, it costs $15. Because what they're doing is they're taking the cost of everyone's healthcare, particularly those that are not paying because they're here illegally, and they're then passing those costs on to you, meaning your health costs increase. This also puts a lot of our hospitals on the brink of bankruptcy, because when you don't have a lot of people paying and the insurance companies then start negotiating with the hospital about, well, we're not going to pay $15 for an aspirin. How about $10? Wow, what a bargain, $10 per aspirin. It means that the hospital system is put under great financial strain. Some of these hospitals are going bankrupt and shutting down, or they're consolidating and reducing capacity, which means you in your community have less health care. Look, nobody is pointing this out. No politician's pointing it out. I intend to do that when I am sworn in as a legislator, because I'm going to make border security one of the top priorities of my office. We're going to have a border security point person in my district office. We have a lot of migrant camps in San Diego, and I intend to work with the federal government to clean out those camps, send those people home, because I want clean and safe communities in my district. My constituents deserve that. You deserve that. You don't deserve the cost or the grime that comes along with rampant illegal immigration. We have to do our job. And that's why putting Donald Trump in the White House is the first step of getting border security. But we must have state policy change in California, or we'll never get a secure border. So join me at Reform California in fighting for our California Secure Borders Initiative. And remember, the election is literally, now we're down to hours, okay? Days and hours. Check out our voter guides at electionguidecalifornia.org, electionguidecalifornia.org. We have a voter guide for every part of the state. We give you the plain English description of everything on your ballot. And of course, remember, we give you endorsements in the local races like school board and judge race. So check it out at electionguidecalifornia.org. Chip in a contribution while you're there. Put fuel in the tank of our Reform California movement in California. We're fighting to take back our state from the insanity of the far left. Until next time, let's make border security a top issue in our state once again. I'm Carl DeMaio, Chairman of Reform California. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. But before you click away, please subscribe to this channel and click that notification button so you get updated when we post new episodes. Plus, like this video and share it with your friends so that we can help spread our message across the state. Reform California with Carl DeMaio is paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly.